This is a test to show the 3D CT projection system functioning. The first phase is to load up the Visual Studio software and run the program. Upon the Face Basics augmented Face Basics software running, you will notice the camera screen comes up and viewing the patient. The Kinect has not managed to identify the patient. Currently, this is due to a lack of movement. So if I ask the patient to just move his head slowly forward towards the Kinect camera, a little bit more, or move it left and right. There you go, and the Kinect has now successfully identified the patient. The next phase is then to open up the Blender software. You will load up the code and press run. As you can see in the Blender software, this has now uploaded the Blender CT STL file corresponding to the patient's CT scan. And then if I come over to the patient, you can see the scan being projected on the face. Obviously this needs aligning, which will now be done. So, need to move back and slightly to the right. Sorry. Don't turn his head, translate his head. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, just face the Kinect. There you go. And you can see that the Kinect has now managed to map the STL file onto the patient's face. If the patient now turns his face to the left slowly, you can see the Kinect file is also turning corresponding to the patient's movement. And if the patient is now realigned, oh sorry, I meant as in realign the image on the patient. As in, you turn your head to the left, and then, because the image, sorry, this is just where the image is being located. And you can now see that the Kinect has now been, the STL file has now been aligned with the patient's face, and, well, it's been performing very well. If the patient now turns his head to the right, very slowly, you see that it will track. There is a delay in the tracking. This is due to the location that you put the system in. And at every point, you will just need to realign the patient's face if you turn it slightly too far. And this is due to the patient's center of rotation axis being different to that of the rotation axis in Blender.